Let's go. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. And I can get the best from that KC journalist. Let's go.
What's the deal, everybody? This is your boy Mack Malone, the KC journalist, and today I am at the corner of Truman Road and Charlotte Street where the First Ward Democratic Club once stood. Right here on this corner, right in front of me, is where the double murder of Charles Binaggio and Charles Gargotta took place. They were both found dead with multiple .38 caliber bullet wounds to the head around 4 o'clock in the morning. The bullets came from different guns, so there was at least two shooters or at least two guns. Binaggio was 40 years old at the time of his death and was the North Side boss of the Democratic Party. And he was also an associate of Thomas Pendergast and John Lazia. Lazia was murdered in 1934. I did a video about that if you want to go check that out. I went to his home and the place where he was murdered and walked through it. Binaggio was basically just a middleman between the Missouri Democratic politicians and the Italian underworld in Kansas City. He also had ties to St. Louis. But after Tom Pendergast died, Binaggio's power in the political world took off. He had received over $100,000, made a bunch of promises he couldn't keep. Tensions started rising, and Binaggio was told to either return the $100K or make good on a promise to have it legalized statewide gambling. That's what they were trying to do at the time. And the word is the hit came down from the Mafia Commission in either Chicago or New York. Charles Gargotta was Binaggio's bodyguard and enforcer. He was always with him. Gargotta had been arrested 40 times in a 30-year time frame of charges of murder, gambling, robbery, extortion, carrying concealed weapons, violating liquor laws. Eventually, all of them were dismissed, though. He got away with all of that, and he was convicted on an assault to kill charge for the attempted murder of Sheriff Tom Bash. But amazingly enough, he only served a 19-month prison sentence for that. Gargotta also was a prodigy of Pendergast and John Lazia. You know, they were all connected. So Binaggio got stressed out and started suggesting he was tired of politics and the underworld and everything else. All the other associates started thinking he was going to drop out and disappear and not deliver on the open gambling or the $100K. You know, he had failed time and time again to legalize gambling. He was overconfident and was making too many promises, and he got little support from the new governor. He got nothing from Harry Truman. Truman put the feds on him, and the grand jury began investigating him. They started looking into him and the Kansas City crime family. And the cry for open gambling city or $100,000 began to echo louder. I mean, people started really getting frustrated. Now, Binaggio had his bodyguard, Nick Penna, drive him over to the Last Chance Tavern. A Quick Trip sits there now, but it was a real hot gambling establishment which sits right on the Missouri-Kansas line. So when one state would crack down and raid it, the cops would come in, they would push the tables over to the other side of the place and gamble right in the law enforcement's face. It's kind of funny if you think about it, why they even had it set like that on the line. But he met up with Gargotta there, and they soon left, and they went to meet unknown associates at the Democratic Club. They never returned. So at 4 o'clock the next morning, a cab driver left his cab near the Democratic Club. He was going to go get some food, and he heard water dripping inside the club and immediately called police. Just inside the door, they stumbled over Gargotta's body, and he was on the floor and appeared to be trying to flee. So I'm assuming they shot Binaggio first. He saw it, tried to run. They shot him in the back of the head. In a chair at the desk, facing a big picture of Harry Truman, was Charles Binaggio. He was shot 4 times point blank in the head. Gargotta also was shot in the head 4 times. And there were powder burns around both of their wounds, indicating that a pistol had been placed against his head and fired at point blank range. Gargotta had a gunshot wound to the base of his skull when trying to flee. The gunman then walked up and shot him 3 more times in the head. 3 other wounds in the left side of his head were closely grouped and powder burned, which means they put it right to his head too. They shot him from a distance. He fell. They walked up and finished him off. So 5 law enforcement agencies investigated this and came up clueless. And here we are 75 years later. It's still unsolved. The building's gone. All we have is newspaper articles. Everybody from that era is dead. You know, at least most of them from the 30s and 40s. And this was just a wild story. They both died right here in this parking lot. I've been wanting to get down here for a while, but I just haven't been able to. But here you guys go. This is your boy Mack Malone, the KC journalist, signing out. Peace.
Let's go. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. The truth. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. Mack Malone, he's your KC journalist. And you know get the best from that KC journalist. Let's go.